Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video today about the National Basketball Association. I'm Jay Canada, and today we are looking at 5 dark horse MVP candidates this season. Now, defining the term dark horse for this video, it's not easy because no matter what I say, some of you could be like, oh, that's never gonna happen, it's impossible, you're dumb. Or you could say, yeah, I can see that happening, but he's not a dark horse, we all know this already. But to make this video, I did search out the players who, according to Las Vegas, have the best odds to win the MVP. I ignored the top 10 players on that list and picked out 5 names from the rest of the players that, yeah, they're being a little bit slept on, but could find themselves potentially winning the MVP or at least being in the conversation. So are you ready for this? Are you ready? It doesn't matter. Let's go do it. Number 5, Ben Simmons.
It's on the line, you're in the lineup.
Nice lead on Amir Johnson, kept it simple. Simmons, and that time the ball movement
Exceeded that. No one talks about his contract is off the roof.
Talk to me about Ben Simmons and what he just...
Yes, I know. Seems ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. The last taste we had of Ben Simmons' action we were all witness to was not great. He was pretty average, in fact, some might even say exposed, in the 76ers loss to Toronto in the playoffs last year.
Is this the dagger?
I will fully admit that Simmons, yeah, he's got a lot of development left to go in his game, and I'm not personally buying into the rumors and the off-season videos pretending like he now has a jump shot.
Ben Simmons.
Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen! Let's go home!
But what if that is actually true? The numbers Ben Simmons has produced in his first 2 career seasons are unbelievable, especially when you consider the efficiency in which he produces those numbers. Jump shot or no jump shot, I truly believe Ben can see a jump in his numbers, which could land him in triple-double territory per game, and that would be extremely difficult to ignore for MVP voters. Now, the Eastern Conference will once again be top-heavy, but I would bet real money that the 76ers and their improved roster will be amongst the top 2 teams in the conference, led by Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And let's face it, Embiid has never proven the ability to remain healthy for long enough to be considered an MVP candidate. So if there are some improvements in Ben Simmons' offensive repertoire, being the leader of one of the top teams in the East, the 76ers, I have no doubt he could be an MVP conversation this year, especially if he can bump those numbers up to triple-double territory, which remains to be seen. Number 4, Jimmy Butler. Okay, even I can admit this one might be a little far-fetched because the Miami Heat finishing near the top of the East, it's definitely not likely to happen, but Jimmy Butler is far from a normal guy, so the impossible could be possible because let's face it, Jimmy Butler's kind of a psycho. And personally, I'm betting on Jimmy harnessing that psycho mentality this year and using it for the good of all mankind, not the destruction of another group of Timberwolves. You'll all remember prior to his stops in Philadelphia and Minnesota, Jimmy Butler was producing star-level numbers in Chicago and improving literally every season. Despite not having a tremendous supporting cast this year in Miami, Jimmy will have every opportunity he wants to show he can truly get buckets and maybe a few assists here and there as well. In addition, while I don't have crazy expectations for the Heat, a potential lineup including Jimmy Butler, Dion Waiters, Justice Winslow, Kelly Olynyk, and Bam Adebayo, that does have some pretty scary, legit defensive potential. Just enough potential to get the Heat towards the top of the conference. I'm not entirely sold yet, but it just might happen, and if so, expect Jimmy Butler to be amongst the MVP candidates. Number 3, Kemba Walker.
Gonna turn the corner. Walker across the lane. Hayward open 3. Kemba. Yeah, 2 years running. Cantor to the basket. Walker finds him. Wow. Walker.
If I'm being honest, I'm surprised there isn't more chatter about Kemba heading into this season. Joining the Boston Celtics obviously didn't work out the way we all thought it would for Kyrie Irving, but to be fair, Kyrie was leaving LeBron. He had never led a team himself and, well, he proved incapable of doing so. Kemba, meanwhile, we know, literally the opposite. He has spent years, his entire career actually, dragging around the likes of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Marvin Williams. I'm sorry, Charlotte fans. I know those words hurt, but I also know that you probably agree with me deep down. Kemba's been groomed as a leader his entire NBA career, as I mentioned, and now he gets the chance to really shine with a nice supporting cast in Boston, a coach who's among the best tacticians in the league in Brad Stevens, and the type of organizational stability that has never been apparent in Charlotte. Yes, I am calling out the owner, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Last year, Kemba produced really good numbers from the point guard position, and he has the opportunity to improve his assist numbers, efficiency totals, and more in Boston with more help around him. Just like with Jimmy Butler in Miami, I'm not sold that Boston can get ahead of Milwaukee or Philadelphia to be a top 2 team in the Eastern Conference, but they'll definitely be in competition, and if they find themselves there by playoff time, you gotta think Kemba Walker will have led the way and will be in the conversation. Number 2, Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell with a crossover right around Harden to the basket. That's it. Mitchell. It goes down. Of course it does.
At both ends.
Oh, Donovan. Oh! Climbing up and popping the rim.
Hey guys, the Utah Jazz, they're gonna be good this year. Really good. Adding Mike Conley and Bojan Bogdanovic, among others, does 2 things in my opinion. Makes the Jazz a legit contender in the Western Conference, and it takes some of the massive offensive pressure off Donovan Mitchell. Like with Ben Simmons, when we last saw Mitchell, he really wasn't great in the playoffs, but the previous versions of the Utah Jazz saw him as the primary and pretty much only scorer and shot creator. There wasn't much else in the way other than Joe Ingles and others spotting up for 3. That changes though with Conley and Bogdanovic on board. That will immediately open up more space on the court for Mitchell to really do his thing. Another bet I'm making heading into this season is that Donovan Mitchell can take a jump in his 3rd season, similar to 2 other NBA greats I've looked at, those being Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade.
Excuse me?
No, seriously. I'll prove my case right now. In 2011, Derrick Rose's 3rd season, like Donovan Mitchell, he jumped from a 20-point-a-game guy on a pretty good Bulls team to a 25-point-a-game guy on a really good Bulls team, and he won the MVP. Similarly, in 2006, which was Dwayne Wade's 3rd season, he went from a low 20-point-a-game scorer on a playoff Heat team to a 27-point-a-game Finals MVP on the Miami Heat. Obviously, there's no guarantee here with Donovan Mitchell, and maybe I'm banking too much on comparables, but the Derrick Rose, Donovan Mitchell, D Wade comparison, it's just too hard to ignore, man. Maybe it's also time we start calling him D Mitch. But on that note, count me a smooth believer in Jazz this season. That was a really good pun. And number 1, Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard nails an important 3-pointer.
Ball is Jamal Murray.
Lillard for 3. He's got it. Damian Lillard.
Ball by Dame coming up.
We felt it on him. With crossover. Step back. 3-pointer is up. And it is good.
All right. Here's where you all try and come at my neck saying, oh, Dame, he isn't a dark horse. He's one of the best players in the league. Dame is so underrated. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, I hear you, and you're actually just helping me make my case here. In the past 4 seasons, Damian Lillard has produced similar numbers to that of Stephen Curry. And when I say similar, I mean you can barely tell the difference in their stat lines. That's how productive Dollar Dame has been. Yet for some reason, he's never really in the conversation at season's end. Why? Well, the last 2 seasons, the Trailblazers have finished 3rd in the Western Conference, which I suppose answers my own question. And if Portland once again finishes outside the top 2, well then, Damian Lillard might get slept on once again and might have to spend a couple more weeks trading shots with Shaquille O'Neal.
And it hit different when pressure really apply, fool. Lucy cutting checks and it's being sponsored with side deals. I can walk away and not lose it.
But if the Blazers are indeed improved, we know that Damian Lillard hits big shots puts up big numbers, and he's got those standout moments that beg for more recognition, and obviously, the all-around ability to be considered the MVP of the NBA. A big factor every year in voting for the NBA is awarding the honor to a fresh story, hence why James Harden keeps getting snubbed, and Dame, the underdog, the well-known slept-on star, finally getting some recognition league-wide. That is indeed a fresh story, and it could definitely happen. Whoa, I got a little carried away there, but the point still stands. Damian Lillard, he needs that MVP recognition, man. This is his year. But there you have it, man. 5 dark horse MVP candidates. I know you didn't have some of them on your radar. You might have had others like Damian Lillard on your radar, but I thought these 5 names were pretty interesting, especially when I started looking into it. Man, I just need Ben Simmons to develop a 3-point shot and I'll be set. But I would definitely love to read all your feedback on this video. Who did you agree with? Who did you disagree with? Who did I leave off this list? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm gonna be reading through all your comments. If you enjoyed this video and my content, then do me a favor. Click my face that's popping up on the screen right now. Subscribe immediately. Also go ahead, check out 2 other videos that'll pop up here as well on my channel. Show some love to those as well. And I'll see you guys in the next upload.